Greetings, gamers, and welcome back for yet another episode of the G3 Podcast. You're here for episode 79. We got the whole crew in the house. Yours truly, none other than...
Ice, ice, baby. Ice, ice, baby.
known as Ice on the ones and twos, here to bring it around for me and the yous. So we'll see how long I get to play that music, because apparently the powers that be don't like it. But we'll go ahead and see if I can come up with something more original for next time. Ringing out the group is none other than the Runnin' Gunna. Mr. MowThemDown, Matt. What's going on, brother?
Hey, what's up, buddy? Yeah, you're playing with fire there, but I guess we'll see how long we get to keep that running. Otherwise, I'm good, man. I'm hoping you're doing well and everybody out there is doing well. Looking forward to discussing the limited amount of news we've got to go over this evening.
Most definitely. Insert fire Elmo emoji. And rounding out the trio is, of course, none other than...
Killionaire. Unfreaking believable. Hail to the king.
Mr. Snipe 90. What's going on, son?
I'm surprised the man hasn't came down on that one yet. But yeah, I'm here.
I mean, what's he gonna come down on? That's original, baby.
Ready, getting some news here. Hope all is well with you gents.
Yeah, man, most definitely. So, as you know, we said this is episode 79 of Gaming's Greatest Generation, aka the G3 Podcast. So, if you would be so kind, if you're checking us out, feel free to like, subscribe, share a comment. Let us know what you like about the show, what we need to change up, things, what's hot in the streets, what we need to go ahead and maybe bring into the show. That being said, this is March 4th, so apologies that we didn't have a rhyme off the top. If you guys are, a little bitter about that, once again, go ahead and throw that in the comments. Let us know. Other than that, you can reach the G3 Podcast. Yeah, you can reach the G3 Podcast at gamingsgreatestgeneration@gmail.com or via the telephone at 702-690-9292. No, I mean, yeah, sure, you can text it, but, we'd much rather hear your beautiful voice. So that being said, let's get straight on into it. As it was already alluded to, is a relatively short week for gaming news, guys. So that being said, probably the biggest, so we'll go ahead and throw this one right up at the top. We got some news that's coming out about the, basically, the Microsoft and Activision Blizzard King merger. So a couple pieces. First and foremost, apparently, if you're tracking everything that's been going on with the news, the FTC in the U.S. is not too happy about this idea. They want to just jump on the bandwagon of naysayers and try to shut this thing down. So they are suing Microsoft. However, in the process of this lawsuit, there's usually a investigative period where they go ahead and, both sides get to provide their research and evidence. So in this case, Microsoft has gone ahead and requested... they basically said, hey, it'd really be nice, since you guys are telling us that, we're the big bad in the room and we want all this exclusivity, et cetera, and we're playing unfair by that acquisition. And we would like for you to go ahead and actually take a look at what the rest of the industry is doing, namely our primary competition in Sony's PlayStation. So Xbox went ahead or Microsoft rather, went ahead and requested requested a subpoena of files dating all the way back to 2012 on Sony's business practices with regard to how it engaged in the gaming enterprise against Microsoft's Xbox. And the Judge D. Michael Chappell, went ahead and said, no, you guys are kind of crazy. That's a little too far. However, he did go ahead and grant a research period from 2019. So starting from January 1st, 2019, Sony's been subpoenaed basically to try and provide this information, because Xbox is asserting that Microsoft is asserting, sorry, you guys know what I mean, has been asserting that Sony has been paying blocking rights to basically keep a lot of big third-party games from being allowed to be in Xbox's services, that particularly being Game Pass. and not allowing it to be there because, surprise, surprise, that would provide a tremendous amount of competition for Sony's PlayStation. So the judge did go ahead and rule in favor of that subpoena, actually, and so we're still waiting to hear kind of what's going on. But they are, like I said, are still in the discovery phase. They're going to be looking into this a little bit more and trying to see, first and foremost, if Sony's actually going to provide that level of detail in what's going on. But worst comes to worst, we're going to hear some of the findings of all of this discovery period as far out as August of this year. And moving along to the second part that came out, and both of these, by the way, are being sourced from The Verge. Apparently, according to Reuters, I've heard it pronounced Reuters, I've heard it pronounced Reuters, I don't know, I like Reuters. Apparently, according to Reuters, who has been present with a lot of the other entities over in Brussels, listening to some of the testimony going on about the acquisition, they are getting the distinct impression that, namely because of the Nintendo and the Nvidia deals that Microsoft went ahead and secured, talking about we're going to bring Xbox games to those respective platforms and or services, that might just be the linchpin that Microsoft needs to go ahead and lock it up, particularly with the EU regulators, not necessarily the CMA. However, it's also kind of leaning strongly in that favor that the CMA might go ahead and look at that as justification enough, especially with Microsoft reiterating about the 10-year agreement that they have proposed to go ahead and bring all the Call of Duty games and some parity to PlayStation platforms. So they're even rumoring, they being Reuters, is even rumoring that this deal is going to close out as soon as April 25th, or at least that the EU regulators portion is going to close out as soon as April 25th. So, Mark, you know, you don't really chime in very much, so to speak, with the big Activision, Blizzard, King, you know, merger type stuff. But when we're talking about all the nitnoids and the politics and the policying and the justice of it all, like, do you think we're actually do you think there's any faith in that what Microsoft has done with that Nintendo and Nvidia deal, that it is going to lock it up for the UK, just one more region for them to say they're in favor of it?
Uh, I would think so. um, I feel like Microsoft's just trying to share the wealth and expand as far as they can reach. So, I mean, we're all consumers of their products, so why not? Sony's, I mean, they're trying their hardest to do what they can, but doesn't seem like it's working out for them. It's kind of a beating a dead horse at this point. Uh, a little offline joke there, but yeah, I'm all for it. I mean, as far as the PC Game Pass ordeal, uh, I mean, a lot of people have moved on to PC. I had mine for a couple years now. Matt got his recently. Um, Consoles are up in price, so why not? Why spend the extra $100 and get yourself a nice PC rig and get access to the same stuff you get on console? Um, Kind of a no-brainer situation there for old Daddy Phil. But yeah, I feel like they're doing the right thing. I mean, hate me if you will, but I'm all for it.
All right, cool, cool. And Mark alluding to the other piece of news that we were just going to talk about right after, where, once again, sourcing this out of The Verge, but I mean, it comes out of Microsoft proper, that now Game Pass, PC Game Pass in particular, is now available in 40 additional countries, making it a total 86 country count. So Xbox kind of pushing the envelope, trying to get it out to as many markets as they can. And yeah, these things are pretty much all over the world, from Albania to Uruguay. So there's a lot of stuff going on there. Matt, what's your feelings on the latest with the merger, the acquisition, and then Microsoft has been kind of mum on a lot of the expansionist talk. So here, going ahead and talking about adding it, Game Pass, PC Game Pass in particular, 40 new regions. That's a pretty big deal. What do you think about all of that?
Well, I don't know. I agree. And it's yeah, we've been over this one a lot, but yeah, it wouldn't shock me if it does ultimately go through, but I'm not sure. I guess it will just totally rely like on one source there from Reuters, wherever they got their source from. Um, yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens, man. I don't know. I'm not sure how I should feel about it. My immediate reaction is obviously, distrust and concern, but it could work out. That's right. That's right. So I'm sure it'll be fine. Whatever. Who knows? But yeah, we'll see. As far as their expansion of PC Game Pass in the regions that are able to sign up, that seems like a natural progression, right? Obviously, you have to continue to show growth. The only way to do that with a subscription service is by either increasing your price or expanding your user base, or both. The expanding the user base one is one that requires more investment maybe on your part, but it is also the one that is the least like looked down upon by customers or whatever. So you want to try and keep your customers happy. So yeah, just bring more people into the service. Frankly, that's an overall benefit for you and everybody else, right? So I mean, that one I'll support. The Activision merger, I have my concerns over.
All right, and keep your concerns you shall. So, something that I don't know if we're concerned or excited about. I can only speak for myself in saying that I'm excited. We have some announcements. This year has so far been I don't want to say quiet. We've had a couple big releases, right? We had Hogwarts Legacy. We had another title that we'll talk about here in a moment, but we also have some DLC announcements coming up. We finally have a new season coming out for Halo Infinite. So finally, we've got season 3, Echoes Within. It's going to be coming out. It's due to release, I believe, March 7th. I think is the date that the trailer announced. So right around the corner. Looks like it's going to be pretty interesting. Yep, March 7th, coming out on Game Pass, Xbox, and Steam. I was excited when I saw this one. We're going to have, some new abilities, tech abilities coming in, some new weapons. We're going to have some new maps. It looks like it's going to be a good old time. This is the type of content update that I think we've been waiting for, on top of, all the skins and all that shenanigans. Then additionally, we also have Forza Horizon 5. We've been long awaiting the second DLC drop or expansion drop coming out for that title, and now it is going to be Forza Horizon 5 Rally Adventure. So Rally Adventure is coming to Mexico, and that actually look kind of cool. Like, I'm into the racing genres to a degree, much more so with the Horizon series, but this looks like something I'm going to sink my teeth into, and I hope any of our more arcade style racing fans out there would also like to get into. And so, Matt, you want to go ahead and tell us about your thoughts on those two, and maybe I think you had something else that you wanted to talk about, and another DLC announcement coming up. Is that right?
Yeah, sure. I don't know. I mean, if I'm being completely honest, I wasn't super duper blown away. Like the the Halo trailer. I don't know, man. It didn't really get me excited. It didn't like make me yearn to hop back in or anything. I mean, it's good that they're finally getting around to adding some new content. Yeah, I mean, I feel like at this stage in the game, with how long it has been, like that this is the update. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, looked good as far as what they were implementing, but yeah, I don't know. It just wasn't enough to like make me like chomping at the bit to hop back in there. Forza 5, on the other hand, I thought looked pretty cool. The last couple of updates were so for me or whatever, but this one looks like it will actually maybe pull me back in. I'm a fan of the rally race there, so that looked like that was going to be a good time, and I'm happy to check that out when that drops out. And then yes, like as you were kind of making reference to, Elden Ring DLC has finally been officially confirmed. Don't really know anything about it yet, or when it'll release. They did drop a massively huge like teaser artwork picture or whatever that people have been digging into. I'm going to avoid that here for fear of boring everybody to death or whatever. And you two haven't really experienced enough yet to where, it should really be discussed, I guess, or whatever. So we'll hold that for another day, I guess, or something. But pretty neat picture. I think it's supposed to be like 50 gigabytes or something. I think somebody was saying it's ridiculous. Yeah, there's a lot of detail that you can like.
50 gigs?
It's like I can't remember. It's like 133,000 something pixels, by or whatever by I don't even know. It's some ridiculously huge like resolution photo or whatever, so that you can like zoom in and look at all these little details and stuff and try and figure out like what the stuff's gonna be. So that's cool. If you want to check it out, it's kind of neat. But yeah.
Well, I mean,
So I'll be excited for that.
play into your strong suits, right? That was one of the strong suits
Yeah.
of Elden Ring, and something that you even clamored for at all the awards that it got was the art style. That it had a very unique art style. So if you got the opportunity to, to lean heavily on that, why not go ahead and put out a photo and have everybody have the MowThemDowns of the world kind of drooling over it. Mr.
That's right.
Snipe 90, what are you thinking about these DLC updates, and are there any that you're tracking that have been announced recently?
I wouldn't say tracking, but I mean, new maps is always cool. With the Halo, they got the new gun. I think the Bandit. I think
Yeah,
something
yeah,
Bandit. They're
Bandit.
calling it. It's like some high caliber looking thing. So, I mean, that's cool. Switching up the guns is always nice. And then they got some shroud screen bubble shield looking thing. Uh, I think Halo 3 that was out, the bubble shield thing where they started.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know, something like that.
Three had the bubble shield, but it didn't have like
But
kind
it's
of the
like
concealment
yeah,
tactic
like a
to it.
cloak thing going on with it. Yeah, I mean, I'm like Matt said, I'm not gonna dive right into it. I mean, I'll pick it up here and there and just mess around with it, just like the last Lone Wolf expansion there or DLC or whatever you want to call it. But yeah,
Season.
aside from that, the Horizon stuff is pretty neat. I'm also a fan of the rally racing. I played a bunch of the dirt games, but this is a little different because obviously it's Forza, but from what I see, it's pretty neat looking.
Yeah,
Definitely
looks pretty.
little, yeah, it does look good. So it's a little different from the casual racing, and it switches up the game a little bit for you. So you're not, kind of in the zone of doing the circuits over and over. It feels like so. Yeah, good deal.
Yeah, man. I'm constantly, not that it's poor form on any other games that got announced or what have you, or DLCs, right? But like the fact that Forza very prominently on their trailer says, "Hey, captured in-game footage in 4K," and then you watch it, and it's just like eye-watering at how beautiful that is. Um, the folks over at Playground did a tremendous job with that game, and I think that one still it hurts because I feel like that one got shafted on a lot of other awards that it probably should have got during its
Y-
heyday and release time frame.
Yeah, and I mean the cars themselves are always nice to look at, but like the actual environment details and like the trees and wood, like dirt, everything, it just looks really good.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds super lame, but like I am always enamored by the sky in that game, dude. The fact that the dev team said that they went out and they took a 12K camera to go ahead and just live capture that footage so they could go ahead and kind of bring it into the game. Like whenever you look at the sky, especially like during sunrise, sunset, like it's incredible in that game. Like now it just makes me want to go right back in and play it right now. So but yeah, other than that, we did have one, I guess you could say, pseudo major title that came out, that being Wolong Fallen Dynasty. So this one had a lot of PR behind it on the Xbox side of the house. I would say a moderate amount of publicity from PlayStation. But going ahead and looking here at Open Critic, it's being received roughly in the low 80 range. I went ahead and I played just a couple minutes of it before recording. Unfortunately, I didn't get to do any capture footage. Um, but I could definitely see how it's a Team Ninja game. Like if you don't pay attention to the tutorials, you're gonna get waxed. And so I was holding my own for the most part there. Didn't get to any bosses yet, but I'm looking forward to it. And here I go with the gaming ADD. Like that immediately took me away from working on Atomic Heart or Horizon, going anymore in Horizon Zero Dawn before I jump into Forbidden West, and now I've got this little cherry dangling over here that is God of War Ragnarok now on game trial on PS5. But I can't recall, Matt. You said you had not played Wolong. Mark, did you get to play any of it yet?
No, not yet. Didn't get a chance to hop on anything today to download it, but from what I see, looks pretty good. I'm always into the samurai stuff, so um, not sure exactly the story yet, but what I see, it's one of those hack and slashers, but it's got a little, I guess, RPG style to it. But yeah, sure,
Yeah,
I'll get into it shortly.
yeah, it's definitely hack and slash, and like I said, from the little bit that I played, there is light, from what I could see at least in the first hour or so of play, light RPG elements. You're leveling up certain things, whether it be your health, your defense, your offense, a couple of your skills later on. Um, Definitely a lot of combo plays in order to go ahead and take full advantage of the combat. And then the other thing, like I don't want to say turned off, but watching the initial cinematics and listening to kind of the intro of the game and how they talk a little bit about the story, I feel like it's one of those that they're going to kind of tell more of the story along the way, because right off the bat playing through it, I'm like, I have very little idea of what's going on right now. So, we'll see how that pans out. Team Ninja games, I remember playing Ninja Gaiden like forever ago, and I think I follow that story pretty well. This one, though, I think it's going to take some getting used to. And that being said, once again, I think the big standout piece here is the art style. Like I feel like you guys, especially being fans of Elden Ring, it's going to stand out pretty well. Matt, does that sound like it'll ring true for you now that you're going to have some time?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was a pretty apt summary. No, yeah, the game is intriguing to me. Ninja Gaiden always whooped my ass back in the day, if I'm being honest. Like, I was always interested, but I don't know, I sucked pretty badly. Um, but yeah, now that I've gotten through Elden Ring, which I also suck at, but at least I beat it, I'm more interested, I guess, in trying to take on the challenge of whatever is going to be presented by Will Long. But I got to get through Atomic Heart first. I just downloaded that, so that'll be the next one on the list, I guess, to try and run through before I start that up. So.
And that is yet another reason why we're not going to be doing backlog beatdown for quite some time, because the backlog just keeps on picking up the more that time progresses on. Speaking of time progressing on, guess what, guys? It is coming around. We got a couple notable mentions and a couple things moving into time here. So just passed on March 4th was the 23rd anniversary of the PlayStation 2 being released in Japan. So it's kind of wild to think where we are now. I mean, not necessarily, I guess, because we've had in that 23-year time, we've had the life cycle of the PS2, the longest life cycle of a console, if I recall. I think 360 was pretty close, neck and neck with that one. PS3, PS4, and now we're on PS5. We also on March 4th was also the 26th anniversary of Turok Dinosaur Hunter on Nintendo 64, and I remember that game very fondly. That thing was like brand new, graphics and everything when it came out on the wonderful Nintendo 64. But as we look to this year and going forward, you guys can expect some really awesome stuff coming around the corner on what we affectionately know in the gaming community as Mario Day. So March 10th is international. Yeah, I guess we could say it's International Mario Day. So basically all things Mario. You got a lot of different announcements. Nintendo didn't just stop at March 10th itself, but all month they're going ahead and they're having specials and sales and a bunch of other stuff coming up. Mark being our biggest Nintendo fan here, what are we thinking about the celebration that is Mario Day / Mario Month this year?
Um, Sadly to say, it's the same thing every year. I mean, aside from the new games, they had sales on and the bundles and such, but basically every Mario slash Luigi, basically just Luigi's Mansion, but all those will be on sale, pretty much. Got Switch bundles with select Mario game. I'm sure they have a bunch of merch on sale as well. Um, the home circuit game, I'm sure they'll have. I think it's $40. I think they're doing on that guy. So yeah, a bunch of Mario Celebration deals going on. March 10th. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, not much to it, but they don't do a lot of sales, but this is one that if you don't have a lot of Mario games, it's good to pick up. Leo, I know you got some money to burn. You got those gift cards or whatnot, but maybe hold out for this.
Yeah, most definitely. Thanks for diming me out there. I went ahead and I did pick up earlier this year the two. I took advantage of the Nintendo Switch online vouchers. It's like a mouthful right there. And so I already spent those. The first one I spent on Pokemon Arceus. That's how I'm pronouncing it. Y'all can live with it. And then I spent the other one on the pre-order for Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. So there was actually a deal that Wario on Twitter went ahead. Wario deals, I think it's just Wario on Twitter went ahead and he does a lot of deal promotions and he
Wario.
talked to. What's that?
64.
Yeah, it's Wario
Wario
64.
64.
But he went ahead and promoted a deal, particularly for Costco members. You spend $40, you get a $50 Nintendo e-gift card, which is the best, quite frankly, that I've ever seen. Those don't come around too often, insofar as basically a 20% off. So I went ahead and took advantage of getting two of those because I believe it was limited to two. So now I'm sitting on a hundo, and I got to figure out what to spend it on. It's probably gonna end up being some Kirby's, maybe some Metroids. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Anything can happen during Mario Day month. And since Matt doesn't even have a Switch, we're pretty much just gonna skip them all together during the section. No, Matt, do you have anything to contribute to this one at all?
No.
Excellent. Moving right along. Yeah.
Well, Amanda was asking me what I wanted for my birthday, and I guess I could say a Switch, but she can't vote that, so we're not gonna. But yeah. Anyway, moving on.
All right, moving right along. Cool. So, surprise, surprise, guys. Like we said, it was going to be a short show. So we are already at our favorite section, none other than Release Radar. So coming up, we've got, looks like Dead Cells Return to Castlevania on PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC on March 6th. Outlanders on PC March 7th. Clash Artifacts of Chaos on PS5, 4, Xbox Series, Xbox One, and PC March 9th. Fatal Frame Mask of the Lunar Eclipse on PS5, 4, Xbox Series, Xbox One, Switch, and PC on March 9th. Coming out as well on March 9th is IB on Switch. Another March 9th release, No by Heart on Switch. Monster Energy Supercross 6. So that's going to be coming out on PS5, 4, Xbox Series, Xbox One, and PC March 9th. March 9th is just packed. Oni, Road to be the Mightiest Oni is coming out on PS5, 4, Switch, and PC also on March 9th. Session, Skate Sim. So this should be the one that previously came out on Xbox, now coming out on Switch on March 9th. Before Your Eyes on PlayStation VR 2 on March 10th. And last but not least, DC's Justice League Cosmic Chaos on PS5, 4, Xbox Series, Xbox One, Switch, and PC March 10th. Whew. All right, cool. I'll just say, as for myself, I'm very interested in Dead Cells: Return to Castlevania. That's a pretty fun. I like Dead Cells, and I think bringing in some Castlevania tropes, themes, and overall gameplay looks like it could be pretty cool. I'll see if I can afford that one since I got me some money. That being said, Matt, what if anything we're looking forward to on the list this week?
Yes, that would be the one for me as well. Despite March 9th being a day of glory. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I can't say anything on that list really. Super excited me, but yeah, Dead Cells, I'll have to check out. I have yet to make any real progress in the first one. That's something I need to remedy, but otherwise, yeah, no, the Dead Cells sequel is the most appealing.
Sounds good. Sounds good. And Mr. Snipe 90, what are we feeling?
Yeah, I'm third on that one. Yeah, nice little the teaser out for it, and they're saying it's like like one of their biggest DLCs um, yet for that game. So I'm a Castlevania fan as well, so should have some fun with that. Other than that, sadly, that is it.
All right. Well, let's, since we're already at the end of the show, let's just keep it rolling. Why don't you tell the people what you've been doing, what you've been playing? Where can they find you, Mr. Snipe 90?
You can find me here, of course. You find gents. I've been playing some Gunfire Reborn. We played a little bit last week. Failed miserably, so I was
Fell
like,
asleep. That's right.
Yeah, I think didn't you disconnect or what happened there? Oh no, that's right.
I think you fell asleep.
Matt,
I did.
yeah, Matt
at,
fell
at the
asleep.
at the main part of the
Yeah, it was like the
cave
boss or
there.
whatever.
We all were
Sorry.
getting our ass whooped by the boss, and we're like, Matt, where are you? And he's just like,
I sent a little clip earlier of
Sorry,
the
fellas.
same
I
boss
was not
that
well.
I killed by myself this morning, but it's actually a pretty decent game. Aside from that, got to get back into Atomic Reborn, and
you're an Atomic Heart.
as Matt, or sorry, I don't know what. Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
Atomic Heart.
There's so many in the game. They all rumble together.
Yeah, they do. And then as Matt alluded to, I gotta finish Elden Ring before DLC, which is probably isn't gonna happen.
All right, cool. And Mr. MowThemDown, what you've been doing and playing, and where can the people find you?
Well, yeah, I'll go with Mark's easy out. You can find me right here on the G3 podcast. Otherwise, I haven't really played as much. She's been, playing up the Hogwarts thing or whatever.
She's
So,
been taking my console.
That's right. But no,
I'm gonna need some Hogwarts sound
I
clips,
did,
please.
yeah. I did. I did Best Melania or whatever. So now I have finally finished the Elden Ring playthrough to the degree to which I am satisfied or whatever. So now it's on to Far Cry 6. I think I had mentioned to you guys offline or whatever. Maybe I even said it here or whatever. It's just more a Far Cry, but it is pretty or whatever. So I've been enjoying that. That'd be cool for some co-op or whatever. But otherwise, yeah, I don't know. Just downloaded Atomic Heart, like I said, so I'll be checking that out. What long will be after that? Otherwise, yeah, I don't know. We'll see what's up.
All right, cool. And yours truly, known as Ice on all things gaming and social media. I have.
Have you been
oddly-
playing any Slay the Spire?
No, that
Oh!
that I can say I have not.
He's broken his addiction, everybody.
Well,
It's
Cold
happened.
turkey to that,
let's just we can always hop back into that. Let's not rule anything out. That game, dude, it told me something when I looked at. I don't remember which one it was, if it was Xbox or PlayStation, but they did their annual review thing, and it was like the game you played the most was Slay the Spire. And I was like, really? You got all these multi-million-dollar titles, and I'm playing this indie darling over here that is addictive as crack. So outside, I haven't really been playing that much this week, honestly. Like I said, I played a little bit of Wolong, just super little bit, guys. And then, man, outside of that, my problem has been I've been sitting on the Xbox trying to be tactical because I had a lot of credits to spend, and I was trying to be decisive on what I was going to spend them on. They got a lot of good sales going on right now on all the platforms. Um, and yeah, so I was just trying to be picky and choosy. But when you have, almost 900 games on your Xbox hard drive alone, and I'm pretty sure my count is getting close to 3,000 games in my library. It gets a little difficult to try and remember what I own, where I own, and all that stuff. I need to get back into working on the Excel sheet and having all that documented. But yeah, I plan on playing a little bit more with you gents tonight once we log off here. And yeah, that's about it, man. Echoes Within coming out in a couple of days, so we'll see if I can get into some of that Halo Infinite. Other than that, I've been really just kind of bogged down, leaving work late, getting ready. We got a transition of sorts coming up, so that is taking a lot of my time, and I haven't been gaming as much. I've been watching a little more of the movies. Went ahead and watched Jurassic Park Dominion finally, and what else did I
What
watch?
did you think about that one?
I actually thought I don't want to like spoil anything for anyone that hasn't seen it. I mean, it's a Jurassic Park movie, right? So you kind of have a pretty good idea. Shit's gonna happen. Things are gonna go bad.
Dinosaurs and death.
Dinosaurs and drama. But no, I like how I'll just say they kind of bring the past and the present of Jurassic Park together.
A lot of fan service.
And that, yeah, there's definitely a lot of fan service and a lot of callbacks. Other than that, shoot, there was another movie I watched. I can't remember what it was though. I still have yet to watch Top Gun. That one's on the list. I might watch that tomorrow. I heard very good things about that. Shoot, why can't I?
They had a lot of fan service in that one
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I got. So it's been a lot of catching
Like
up.
I said,
Oh,
the intro.
now I remember the other big thing. I say big thing, but it was really short episode. Watched the latest Last of Us episode, which we could talk about that if we want to. I wasn't really surprised at what was going to come from that. But then I also watched episode 1 of the new season of Mandalorian. So that was
Double Pedro.
shorter than I expected. I needed me some more Pedro. Yeah, that was shorter than I expected. But good. It was more Mandalorian. It's setting you up for the rest of the season. I guess I'll say. I desired a little more out of it, but I wasn't upset by it. So that's about all I got for that one. Did you have something you want to contribute about Last of Us, Matt?
I mean, no, I kind of agree with you in that. Yeah, the episode was
No.
what I guess would have expected coming
I'm
out
one
of that.
episode behind.
What's interesting? Oh shit!
You're not going to be missing anything, Mark. I'm not saying it was disappointing. It was actually very.
It was-
There was a lot of emotional performance in there, but it didn't like.
Fluffer.
I don't want to say fluffer. It didn't
Got it.
further the story from where you are.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would have been my thoughts on that as well. As that, yeah, and unlike the third episode, I guess, or whatever, like wherein that I don't know, the story that told was far more grand, I guess, and sweeping in scope or whatever, and like beginning and challenges and resolution or whatever. This one was so good. But I guess maybe just, they'd already had the one, and that maybe should have been done on that or whatever, as far as big emotional draw, kind of stuff like that. But it was still a good episode. I am starting to wonder, because I think there's only going to be 9 episodes in this season.
I think I heard that too.
Say what?
I think I heard that too.
Yeah. I I have I have not played the game, and Lee, I don't know if you played it yet either, even though I'm sure you own it.
Yeah,
Maybe the multiple
I played a
versions
bit.
of it.
Yeah.
Mark, you may have gone through it. I'm not sure, but uh,
Sadly, no.
how?
I mean,
Oh,
I've
okay. I
seen
I
enough
kind of know.
to.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I kind of know bits of the story and whatever. Like I think there's still maybe some decent like plot points to go before the actual ending or whatever.
Oh
And
yeah.
I am
Oh
not
yeah.
sure if 2 more hours are going to cover it or whatever. So I thought it was supposed to be kind of more of like they were going to try and cover the whole game in a season, but now I'm wondering if that is not going to be the case. We will see. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see how they'll wrap it all up from here.
I feel, and I don't know if I've got good ground to stand on here, but I feel like what did they do it with? They did it with something else, but I feel like they're gonna go ahead and they're gonna have season one and the beginning of season two cover Last of Us Part One, and then the with added stuff because we've had at least one or two episodes where again, not going to call it fluffer, but they've gone ahead and they've expounded on stuff that you didn't get to see in the games. Um, so my gut feeling right now is that the second half of season two, leading into a season three, is going to be Last of Us Part Two territory. Um, and I mean, shoot, we don't know. We haven't heard anything coming out of Naughty Dog, and it's been a couple years since Last of Us Part Two came out, so they may very well be able to go ahead and do kind of a double whammy where they're going to release. Uh, and I don't know if there's necessarily any room for it. I think they'd have to be kind of creative with storytelling. But if they were to release like a Last of Us Part Three, along with the much rumored and awaited Last of Us factions, kind of as a combo thing to close out all the Last of Us story, if you will, and then that's just going to allow them opportunity to kind of keep things going with with the show. So that's just my take on that one. Long winded, sorry, but I think they're gonna stretch it out a little bit. So
Yeah, that seems likely now.
all right. So without further ado, like we said, guys, it's going to be a short show. So that is it. That's the show. We want to get out of here so we can go play some games and talk to you about more games next week. So that being said, once again, feel free to like, subscribe, share the show with a friend because we love to go ahead and get to more eyes and ears and do all the things. Give us a call, 702-690-9292. Hit us up at gamingsgreatestgeneration at gmail.com. And otherwise, you can just leave us some comments on the YouTubes or I'll check. I don't believe we have a comment section for Spotify. But if you're so inclined, we'll try and go ahead and take a look at getting some type of fan service up there. So, you guys can do that. That'd be really great. I was very proud to say that we were like one of the first gaming podcasts to have a video segment, and then we came off of that, and now there's a couple others out there that have done it, but I'm pretty confident we were the first ones to do it. So if we can go ahead and set the mold and be the first ones to have comments on your audio streaming platforms, then so be it. That's a talk I'm willing to have with the company. So that being said, we're out, episode 79, and remember, guys, gaming's greatest generation is the one you guys are a part of.